Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Toku, Boston's only podcast about Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, and all their kaiju friends. I am your host, David Scrivani.
I'm your other host, Brian Kershaw.
And I'm sorry, Brian, I forgot to mention, it's also, I can't remember where you live now's only podcast about Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, and all our kaiju friends. I'm sorry.
Soon to be Bellingham, Washington, but it's alright.
Well,
for all intents and purposes, it's still Boston.
Still Boston's, yeah.
I don't know what the kaiju landscape of Bellingham, Washington is, so I'm not ready to make that claim yet.
Well, it's once Talking Toku gets its claws in it, the landscape will be changed forever, all because of us.
Yeah. I just don't want to say it's the only podcast because in case we get big, then I don't want to be involved in drama.
That means we just have a podcast war. I mean, we're already starting a Cold War with that other Talking Toku podcast.
Yeah, a Cold War that I have not participated in at all because I keep forgetting to message them.
I'm just gonna start messaging you every day about it until we get to it.
I'm just gonna make a different account.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just gonna call it something else.
Okay, we'll talk about it after the show.
You know how Mr. Sunday movies they make their Patreon equivalent Big Sandwich.
Yeah, Big Sandwich.
Yeah, we'll do something like that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well, again, we'll talk about it after the show. But we do have a show to get on to. Brian, what are we talking about today? What's our topic?
We're talking about not a movie, not a show, nothing. We're talking
about nothing today. Oh boy.
We're talking about stuff that lives in our imagination.
Yeah.
AKA, who would win in a fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some interesting ones.
That thing that you and all of your friends have definitely talked about before. Don't lie to me.
Absolutely, yeah. So, we got some interesting ones. Admittedly, I kind of half-assed some because I was like, I want to do this, but I don't have enough ideas, but we're going to do it anyways because I don't want to just review a movie again.
I have one serious one and a couple comedy ones.
All right. Well, that's fine. That's fine. I don't know how much we'll end up talking about these in terms of time, but we'll get to it. Anyways, yes. To start off, let's get some news going because we have a shitload of news, almost a full page's worth of news.
3 weeks of news since it's been about.
I know. Yeah, we were supposed to record this podcast a week ago, but Brian here ended up working late, and then I was not free for the rest of the week until Friday, and then the station where I record is not open after 5 on Fridays, so we had to wait until this week.
So what Dave is saying is donate to our Patreon so that Dave can get a microphone and a computer that doesn't suck ass.
Yes, precisely that. Anyways, news.
News.
Brian, do you want to start us off, or do you want me to start off? Because we do have a lot here.
I will go second.
Oh, you'll go second. Okay.
I'll go. I think I went first last time.
I don't remember, but probably. Anyways, the next installment of the Ultra Galaxy Fight series has been announced. Ultra Galaxy Fight: The Destined Crossroads will begin airing in 2022, arriving early on Subaraya Imagination, Supro's streaming service, which I didn't know was a thing. I keep seeing ads for it when I watch Ultraman Trigger, but the ads aren't subtitled like the actual show is, so I have no idea what it was until now. Before airing internationally on their YouTube channel at some point afterward. We don't really have a date for that. Not many details on the story yet, aside from the fact that it will follow up the previous Ultra Galaxy fight, The Absolute Conspiracy, which I still haven't finished. I think I have 2 episodes left. I really should finish it because they're 10 minutes tops. But I do think they finally put up the version of Absolute Conspiracy where they just edit it into one long hour-and-a-half movie. So maybe I'll just watch that instead of the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, just watch that. That sounds easier. Lazy.
Shut up. You're not one to talk. You have no idea.
I was gonna say, this is coming from the guy that took 2 years to watch Ultraman.
Yeah, and now you have access to every Ultraman show ever, basically, and you still haven't watched them.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Disappointing.
Right.
Disappointing. All right.
That's my middle name.
But what else we got
right.
for you, Brian? What's going on in the news?
Ultraman Tiga, that's how you say that, right?
That is how you say it, Ultraman Tiga?
Alongside various other children's shows and cartoons, has apparently been removed from multiple Chinese platforms, apparently on the grounds that it is promoting violence to children. Now, I haven't seen Tiga yet, but as I understand it, Ultraman as a whole is usually about promoting positivity and protecting the weak. Also, I doubt any children will be trying to destroy cities or fight giant monsters after watching it. Yeah, I know for a fact that China has been on a bit of a banning spree lately.
They have. Was it like 2 hours of video games a week or something?
It is 2 hours on video games a week, but it is only on specific days, that being the weekend.
All right.
And
Jesus
holidays.
Christ. Oh, and okay, holidays. That's something.
Yeah, they also banned. They also banned crypto trading.
I mean, that's a good thing in my book.
But I have a little bit tinfoil hatting here. This has nothing to do with Kaiju. Except for how much of a absolutely colossal dump it took over the market. Basically, I think that they banned it, but then the government is just going to do it. Now it's going to be a state-run crypto. It's going to be state-run crypto trading instead of private.
That doesn't sound much better.
That's my conspiracy theory, because I know that that's probably what's going to end up happening, because that's a huge fucking market. That's just free money. If you have enough money to throw in, it's free money returns.
Right.
I don't know. That's my guess. But yeah, China loves to ban stuff.
Well, if you can believe it, Brian, that's not the only time we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency on this podcast today.
Oh my God, it's the CryptoCast.
It's the CryptoCast. Oh boy.
This is our glorious transformative moment where we change to a crypto podcast.
Oh my God. All right, Brian. That's it. We're doing Talking Toku NFTs. That's what we're going to do.
Oh boy.
No, we're not actually doing that. For legal purposes, that was a joke.
We're going to be so responsible for wasting electricity.
Yes, we are.
Yep.
But don't worry, we'll get to that.
I'm so excited.
There was some drama a couple weeks ago. Anyways, after almost 4 years, it feels like way longer than that, we finally have an update on season 2 of Netflix's Ultraman series. A piece of key art.
I watched it.
Huh?
I have watched
it. You have watched it. That is the first Ultraman show you ever watched.
Yep. Probably not a good starting point.
Probably not a good starting point, but, you know, it's something, I guess.
Yeah.
A piece of key art has been released featuring Shinjiro, Dan, and Seiji in their respective Ultraman armors, as well as new characters and armors based on Ultraman Zafy, Taro, and Jack. While we still don't have a concrete release date, Tsuburaya has said that it's scheduled to hit streaming internationally in spring of 2022.
Not far.
No, not far. I should probably start reading the manga. I bought the first 2 volumes and read like 3 chapters and I'm like, hey, this was cool, and then totally forgot about it. So, I don't know. I'll probably...
on brand.
Yeah. For us, absolutely on brand.
Yeah.
But, you know...
I like this. I'm going to forget about it for 3 weeks to a couple months.
Yeah.
Get back to it.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll probably get to... I mean, I don't know how far along the anime is in terms of the manga, but I don't know. We'll see. I know Taro doesn't come in until, like, pretty far down the line, I think, but I don't know for sure. So...
All right, well, in other news, the first trailer for Shin Kamen Rider has been released. While it's essentially just a recreation of the opening to the original series, it still looks phenomenal visually. It's easy to tell that director Hideaki Anno really does love this franchise and is doing his best to make the film feel authentic. We also get a look at what I assume to be the film's main villain, or not. I don't know enough about Kamen Rider to accurately assess that fact.
Neither do I.
I don't know anything about Kamen Rider because I don't know. I have never seen...
Neither have I. I just know it exists, and it's a big, big thing in Japan, in the Toku.
I have heard people talk about it.
Yeah.
and that's the extent of it.
Apparently, the original Kamen Rider is also available on Tubi, from what I've been told.
There's just, you know what?
But
Honestly,
the thing is,
just get Tubi.
yeah. I mean, Tubi's free. It's literally free. You don't get it. You just boot it up and say, hey.
I'm sure there's a paid option, but that's
No, there's not. That's the whole thing. That's the whole point of
No?
Tubi. It's like you get ads, but yeah, it's all free.
Oh, good to know.
The only problem is Kamen Rider, the original series, is like 90 something episodes.
How long are the episodes?
I mean, I assume 22 minutes or so, but like, just it's like that's one season. I mean, it's a one season series, but like that's just one season, and it's like that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. Yeah, but I mean, I always like to take the time it would take to watch something and then compare it to how many hours I have in a game that shall not be named. And then if it's more or less, then I decide whether that based on that.
Sorry, not 90 episodes, 98, so it's closer to 100.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Shin Kamen Rider looks cool. Whether we get it in the States anytime soon, I don't know. Maybe.
VPNs.
Yeah.
Get a VPN.
NordVPN,
Maybe.
sponsor us, please.
ExpressVPN, I own your product. Please sponsor me.
Anyways, like I mentioned earlier, time for the CryptoCast because I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this off word for word, and then I'm gonna explain it because I specifically wanted to introduce it like this. Quoting directly from my notes here. Holy shit, that shitty mobile Ultraman fighting game was a front to sell NFTs the whole time. What a fucking joke, LOL.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so I want to say a year or two ago, I can't remember if it was a year or 2 years, there was an Ultraman mobile fighting game announced. It was Ultraman Kaiju Kombat. And...
I remember that.
Huh?
I remember that.
Brian remembers that. Look, and now you can you'll know what.
That sounds so generic.
It looks generic too, but I kind of forgot about it until recently when the game actually launched, I think, and then all of a sudden, it just kind of became like this big thing for NFTs. Like you could buy like the character models or whatever, and it's like, who first off, who cares? Because the models don't look that great. And then secondly, NFTs are one, a fucking scam, and B, terrible for the environment.
Yeah.
And the team behind Ultraman Kaiju Kombat just decided to dig themselves a hole. Because as is very often the case when people call other people out for doing NFTs, they were not having any of it, and were just like telling people off that would even dare to criticize them. Like, there's a Discord channel for Kaiju Kombat that I'm a part of, but I've had muted ever since I joined it because that's what I do with Discord. That apparently they were threatening to ban anyone who would criticize them in the channel.
Oh, that always goes over well.
Yeah, and then I think the biggest thing was on Twitter, someone called him out over the NFT thing, and they made a quote-unquote joke. It didn't come off as a joke to me or anyone else who saw the tweet, but they joked that, hey, we should tokenize some of your artwork.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like
this just gets worse.
You're literally threatening to steal someone's artwork and make money off of it. Like, even if that was a joke, that's a really bad joke and not something to joke about. Because like that's people's livelihoods you're fucking with. That's not good. That's not a good look on anyone.
It's like a worse version of like the the artists that do like the Disney Star Wars comics stealing fan art.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a worse version of that because they threatened to do it instead of just doing it.
Yeah. But
for anyone who doesn't know about that Star Wars thing, please look into it because it's actually pretty egregious.
yeah, it's pretty bad. But
I didn't realize how like widespread it was until I watched a video about it. So,
but we're not a Star Wars podcast. We're not
Anyways.
Steel Wars. We're talking Toku.
yeah.
But
Star
yeah,
Wars sucks.
fucking please don't support Ultraman Kaiju Combat. Don't support buying NFTs. And it sucks because I have a friend who's on the development team of Kaiju Combat, and he is like actively defending all this, and I'm like, please stop. Don't do that.
Yikes.
Yeah. Not happy about it. If you don't mind, Brian, I'm going to take this story as well.
I was gonna ask you to.
All right, cool. We're on the same page.
Just because there's a bunch of. I'll take the one after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, legendary composer Koichi Sugiyama passed away on September 30th of septic shock. While most well known for his work on the entire Dragon Quest video game franchise, Sugiyama also composed the opening theme to Return of Ultraman and the score for Godzilla vs. Biollante. This is the man that gave us the famous BioWars track, that weirdly funky song from Godzilla vs. Biollante that has no business being as good as it is. Now, while his contributions to popular culture are many, that's an undisputed fact. What's also an undisputed fact is that Koichi Sugiyama is a noted nationalist and Nanjing Massacre denialist.
What a fucking dick.
Yeah. Like, the amount of posts I saw the day he died of like, rest in peace, rotten hell, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this guy sucks.
I mean,
And I had no idea about this before he died. Like, this was all news to me.
that's like the equivalent of being like a white supremacist Holocaust denier here.
Oh yeah, and no, absolutely it is. And he apparently he denied a lot of the war crimes the Japanese committed during World War II as well. So, you know,
It's like one of those things that's like, it's just, how can you deny it?
I don't know, because he wants.
There is so much undeniable proof.
Well, because that's the point of nationalism. It's to make your
Japanese-
country look as good as it possibly can be, and that involves ignoring history.
I guess so, but like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's
For anyone who's not like like very informed about history, the Japanese were arguably worse than the Germans when it comes to brutality. They were real fucking bad.
I'm pretty sure this is not the first time we've talked about this on the show too.
No, and honestly, like the Japanese know it today.
Yeah.
They know it. Like a lot of their media is about like. Not now, but some of it now too. But like a lot of their media through the years after the change in government and like their culture shock has been about like not being able to forget the shit that happened under the imperial banner and shit like that. Like even like GMK.
Yeah, that's literally the whole fucking point of GMK.
That's the whole point. It's not the dead souls of like Japanese people who died no, it's about dead souls that the Japanese army killed.
Yeah.
that are pissed off. So it's just like for the most part, I think that like Japan, like most Japanese people are probably pretty down to earth, and they're like, yeah, we had a terrible past.
Yeah.
But like to go out and be so fucking ignorant about this shit, it just really like it just blows my mind. And yeah, we have people like this here in the States too.
Oh yeah, we do.
we have a whole lot of them. It's just yeah, that guy sucks.
Yeah. So I have.
He sucks like the rest of them, like the rest of these
Yeah.
deniers about this shit. my favorite thing, and this is coming from like, for anyone who doesn't know, I do like stuff other than kaiju stuff. I'm big into history, and this is not on like the Japanese with the war with Japanese, but with the Holocaust specifically. I think it was one of the generals. I think it was like Patton or someone who is with the troops that found these concentration camps. He literally said like, take as many pictures and make as many records of this as you can, because sometime down the road some bastard's gonna deny this.
Yep, absolutely.
Like, he knew, and he was goddamn right. So yeah, these people suck, dude.
Yeah, so rest in peace, Koichi Sugiyama, but you know, not really.
Yeah. All right. Well,
on a lighter note, Brian.
On a lighter note, our good pals at Toho Kingdom have exclusively announced that the return of Godzilla composer, I don't know how to say that,
Reijiro Koroku.
Yes, will be appearing as a guest at Kaiju Masterclass 2 in his first ever English language interview. Other guests announced since our last episode are Apocalypse, then American and Japanese Atomic Cinema, 1951 through 1967, author Mike Bogue.
I think I'm just gonna say Bogue.
Godzilla suit actor
Tsutomu Kitagawa.
Yep, I can't say names. Japanese film critic Mark Schilling and composer Makoto, and I don't know how to say that.
Makoto Inoue.
There you go. Okay.
But
okay, I'm really bad with names. All right.
I think you're just bad with the Japanese language, Brian.
I am bad with Japanese language. You are very correct. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
Yeah, like we mentioned, I don't know when we talked about Masterclass 2 initially. Maybe it was the last episode. I don't remember.
I think it was the last episode. All right. For sure.
But yeah, it's shaping up to be a real cool convention. So, and listen, as someone who's met Tsutomu Kitagawa, Tom Kitagawa, as he told us to call him at G-Fest when I met him, he's like one of the most down-to-earth actors I've ever met. Like, he's one of the coolest guys. So, any reason to like interact with him or see or like hear him talk is that's not something to miss for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Do we have dates for this?
We do. Let me bring it up. I talked about it last time.
I remember asking you last time, and I'm pretty sure you said I don't know them.
No, I didn't put it in the notes, but I said it on the show. But I'll say it again now. Kaiju Masterclass 2 will be taking place online because COVID is still a thing that's running rampant in the country on November 5th through November 7th of this year. So mark your calendars. It's going to be a good one.
My calendar is marked.
Excellent. It's what I like to hear. We'll probably do an episode on it or something, maybe. I don't know.
All of you don't have any excuse to miss it because it's on a weekend.
Yeah, and the panels will all be archived on YouTube, I'm sure.
True.
So,
Yeah.
Another death, but this one is one we actually kind of care about. Veteran Toho special effects crew member Tadaki Watanabe passed away on September 16th. After a long illness. That's all the information we have on his passing. He was 81, but he's been working in tokusatsu for a number of years. I think the first thing he did was The Three Treasures, which is a adaptation of the Yamada no Orochi legend. But he specialized in pyrotechnics, and he was working up until the year 2000 with Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, and he even played Anguirus in Destroy All Monsters. So he's got a long list of credits for sure.
Yeah, Megaguirus, that was pretty. For all intents and purposes, it's recent.
Yeah, it's 20 years old. Oh God, it's over 20 years old. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that one bit. Jesus.
Yeah, are you? It's almost as long as you and I have been friends, Dave.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We're
Coming up
old,
on
Brian.
14 years? 14, 13 years?
I don't know. I don't keep track of this stuff. But
I kind of do. Sort of. I look at the year and I'm just like, oh, another one's gone.
But yeah.
All right.
Rest in peace, Tadaki Watanabe. You will be missed.
Rest in peace.
Pyro's important in kaiju movies.
Yeah, that's kind of what a lot of people love.
Exactly.
Shit blowing up.
All right. Well, that does it for the news. Brian, would you care to introduce us with our next
yes.
our next segment?
My favorite segment, my baby that I came up with because I absolutely love talking about dumb stuff. It's the r/Godzilla block.
Oh boy.
We talk about dumb shit that I have seen on r/Godzilla. Today, I don't really have much because honestly, there isn't a whole lot going on.
I feel like I saw something like a week ago that I'm like, oh, that'd be good, and then I totally forgot to put it in the document.
Yeah, I did some perusing like last night because I didn't have anything up until last night. But today, I want to talk about this really funny fucking post that I saw. Basically, it's just a still image of the Rampage poster. It's a big meets bigger.
I forgot that was oh my god.
And the caption of this is, could Rampage be part of the Monsterverse? Considering that Warner Bros. made the movie and distributes the Monsterverse, could it ever happen for the future of the Monsterverse? And I can't say how very wrong this is.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before. Like a number of years ago. Mostly as a joke, yeah. I mean,
I think about it in my head, and what I see is a movie with Godzilla and whatever, but then also a ape that he could still step on.
Yeah. And
a big alligator with a dog, and then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, it's mainly Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that I'm hung up on.
I mean, we talked about this on our Rampage episode. Like, Dwayne Johnson's basically a kaiju. He's big enough.
Yeah, he is. Also, the one thing, the other thing about this post is that the first comment was just all lowercase no.
All right, that's pretty good.
And yeah, it was just such a good post. And I just want to clarify that these Godzilla posts, nothing against the people who post them. I just think that they're funny. I mean, obviously there are some that like are genuinely like toxic. r/Godzilla has had some issues with gatekeeping.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's every fandom though.
But that's every fandom, and there are some that are just like harmless, like whatever. But I just think that this is just a really funny proposition. However, there was one more post I wanted to talk about, which I did not link to you, Dave.
All right.
I needed your genuine reaction.
Okay, lay it on me.
So there was another post that was unpopular opinions.
Okay.
An unpopular opinions one. And it was a lot of it was like not unpopular at all.
I feel like that's usually the case on any unpopular opinions post.
That's usually the case, yeah. But one of them really, really stood out to me because I knew how much you would fucking hate it.
Okay, I'm listening.
Honestly, it is so unreasonable that I think this person typed it for shock value.
Okay.
He said that Mothra vs. Godzilla is one of the worst movies in the series.
I guarantee that's trolling. There's no way.
But I don't have it in front of me, but it was a wall of text, Dave.
Oh, God.
A wall of text. And then the other absolutely shocking thing he said was that Godzilla Raids Again is one of his favorite movies.
Okay, no, there's no way he's not trolling. There's no way he's not trolling.
No, that's what I thought. But this dude had a genuine conversation with people in the comments.
Oh my God, are you serious?
So I am like I have no idea whether it was just a very elaborate troll that didn't get the reaction, so he just tried to play it off, or if he's serious. And I honestly can't tell which is worse.
Oh man. All right, hold on. I'm gonna do a very, very quick search for this. I don't think I'm gonna find it, but okay, there's just a bunch of unpopular. I'm just seeing a bunch of unpopular opinion posts, not any specific thread. That's not helpful, so never mind, I guess.
Let me see here.
Oh, hold on, I may have found it.
Oh, I found it.
I found one with 55. Oh, yep, here we go. I think I found it.
Oh wait. Oh, I was thinking of another one, but this dude actually, it's the comment by Medium Science.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Like a conversation, but it is.
Oh no! Worst kaiju finale, he says, for Mothra versus Godzilla.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
All right, but he does have the absolutely based take that Ebirah, Horror, The Deep, and Son of Godzilla are some of his favorites because those are both phenomenal movies, and I will stand by that.
It's the Godzilla Raids Again one that I
yeah. He's also pulling the base take that King Ghidorah is one of the worst. So you know what? I'll give him.
Does it balance out?
It balances out. I think I'll give it to him.
Okay. There's also a whole bunch of King of the Monsters is one of the best Godzilla films. Period,
of course it is.
Can't.
Of course it is. You know what? Oh, that's what it was. That's what the post I had was because I commented on it. It was basically just a circle jerk for Godzilla King of the Monsters. Like, oh, is Godzilla King of the Monsters an underrated masterpiece? And I'm like, no, it's not.
It's a giant $1 million Hollywood movie. It is not underrated.
Yeah, no. It's I won't get into it. I feel like an episode, we've talked about how much we don't like Godzilla King of the Monsters. I feel like we should do an episode on it soon so people know why we don't like it. We'll see. I do want to do that at some point.
What? Talk about what?
Talk about King of the Monsters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because again, like I said, we've talked about the fact that we don't like it, but I don't think we've actually gone into why we don't like it.
No, I feel like people have heard are like snippets of why we don't like it.
Yeah, but we haven't gone in depth into it,
A more concise. Yeah, there is an absolutely great take that I also share saying Godzilla 2014 is underrated.
It is.
A lot of people, and also that Godzilla had enough screen time in 2014.
Yeah, that's the top comment I'm seeing. Very good.
Yeah, I like that one, but yeah, the Godzilla Raids Again one I knew was going to throw you off.
I don't know if I've said it.
There's also Destroy All Monsters, Tokyo SOS, and Space Godzilla are terrible films.
Space Godzilla is a terrible film.
It is a terrible film, but Tokyo SOS...
Tokyo SOS is, for me, is probably not the best of the millennium, but it's the one I enjoy the most, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, GMK is, without a doubt, the best objectively, but Tokyo SOS is the one I enjoy the most.
Also, the last sentence of this comment I'm looking at says, Final Wars Minya looks far worse than the original. They both look nightmarish, but I don't agree.
All right. Well, I think that does it for that segment, Brian.
Yeah.
Should we?
You better find something spicy and terrible for next time.
Oh, I will. Don't worry.
Actually, as a teaser for the next episode, you better find one that is haunted.
Ooh, yeah. Real subtle, Brian.
real subtle. Not like we're in the month of October.
I know.
Ooh.
All right, so let's get on to our main topic, shall we?
Yeah.
So the way I think we should do this is I have my laptop here. I assume you are on a computer.
I am.
All right, so what I think we should do is we should each, bring up the fan wiki page for one of these guys each, like for this first one. So the first one we're going to be talking about is Godzilla versus the Icon of Sin from Doom Eternal.
I'll look up the Icon of Sin.
I'll look up the Icon. I know more about the Icon than you do.
Oh my god, but that's why I should look it up.
I mean, I already have. I kind of have an idea of my argument for this, but the thing is, we need to determine like which versions of monsters we're gonna use. You know.
All right, for Godzilla, what's the most popular?
I would say MonsterVerse is the most popular at the moment.
No, I don't want to use him.
Well, we don't have to use him for everything, just for like this specific one. Like
God.
I don't know.
Can I use Godzilla Final Wars?
I mean, I feel like that'd be a really easy fight because Final Wars Godzilla is overpowered as hell.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, for sure.
So I kind of thought about this. I took it into account. I think based on size alone, I think MonsterVerse Godzilla is a good match for the Icon.
Okay. All right.
So bring up the wiki page for the MonsterVerse Godzilla. I got the Icon up here right now.
All right. Well, who's gonna read their wiki?
I'm not gonna read it, but I'm just gonna like kind of like glance over at it and present arguments.
Okay.
I'm not specifically arguing for the Icon to win. I just think we're just gathering facts and saying what we think would happen.
Oh, all right.
That's how I kind of envisioned this.
Okay, I see. All right. Well, I don't really know.
Okay.
Personally,
do you want me to go into my argument about it? Like, I like thought about this like in depth quite a bit.
Yes.
All right.
For it, yeah.
I think this would be like really, really close. So the thing is, I might go a little deep into Doom lore, so bear with me here, everyone. So the lore establishes that the Icon of Sin warps reality in whatever dimension it's in to the point where reality legitimately starts to collapse in upon itself. So my thinking is that if the Icon of Sin were to hold Godzilla off long enough, the Icon would probably take it just based on that alone.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you want me to make an argument for Godzilla?
Not necessarily. This is all like
okay.
Be as subjective as possible.
I honestly don't think Godzilla would win.
Okay.
I mean, this one specifically, I don't. I think that this Godzilla's too slow.
He was pretty fast in both King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, though.
But he very rarely runs for one.
That's true.
He runs once. And the Icon of Sin is very like humanoid in nature.
He is, and he's very lanky. And in the second phase of the fight, he runs into the arena, like he full out sprints into the arena. He's a fast boy.
And there's also just the fact that the Icon of Sin is an actual demon from hell.
That too.
Who can just do seemingly whatever it wants.
See,
and then there's the whole like, the longer it's on Earth, the stronger it gets. Like, I just don't think Godzilla can possibly beat him in time.
You could make the argument that like, yes, the Doomslayer killed the Icon basically single-handedly, but there's also the thing where, sorry Brian, I'm going to spoil the Ancient Gods for you, but they make it very apparent that the Doomslayer is the closest thing to a god. So he's not, a normal man. So
I kind of surmised that.
Yeah, it's heavily implied in the base game, but they like go way into it in Ancient Gods.
I mean, the thing with Doom Guy is that you can kind of just like you want for why he beats everything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I just think that with with Godzilla, MonsterVerse Godzilla, he is just an animal.
Mm-hmm.
He's a supersized lizard, like literally supersized lizard. And I just don't think he has enough like stamina. I think he can probably take less damage than he probably shows in the movie, in the movies that he's in. I mean, like, he's gotten the shit beat out of him.
He's taken a lot of punishment, but he's pretty tenacious. Like, he gets up pretty quickly afterwards.
Yeah, but I just feel like Hellfire and like shit like that. Like, I don't know. Like, he's been electrical shocked. He's been bitten, melted by like supernatural fire. I don't know, man. I think
the only way Godzilla would take it is if he were to get in close enough and take off that maker armor that the icon has in that first phase. If he were to get in close enough, because we saw in Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla's claws are way sharper than we thought, because they are like slicing Kong up. He could probably rend the metal of that armor pretty easily, but that is only if he can get in close enough. And I feel like the icon, he has those he can has those really like concentrated lasers that he shoots from his hands and his forehead. I feel like he could probably keep Godzilla at bay long enough.
And there's also one other thing I wanted to mention.
Okay.
The Icon of Sin has legions of other demons. And while like other ones, like smaller ones probably wouldn't be an issue, like the Icon of Sin could keep spawning this shit in nonstop just for like diversion.
That's true.
Godzilla's an animal. And also this is like the whole thing with like the armor plating, like this is assuming Godzilla's even smart enough to know that he has to remove the armor.
I mean, Godzilla's, again, we're talking about MonsterVerse Godzilla. He seems to be pretty smart
he definitely seems smart, but like this is assuming he will understand supernatural stuff.
That's a good point.
Like,
that's a very good point.
It's just one of those things where I just think the completely bewildering nature of the Icon of Sin is what's going to make him lose.
So the wiki, this is a direct I'm reading this word for word. The Icon of Sin also grows stronger the longer he is on Earth, while his presence warps reality, and if left alone would destroy Earth and create a black hole that would drag the whole dimension he is into hell. Godzilla has survived a black hole, but not MonsterVerse Godzilla.
No.
And Godzilla has been in hell before, but not MonsterVerse Godzilla.
This is true. Yeah, I'm actually curious how tall is Icon of Sin?
I don't know if it says.
Because I think that if maybe if the size difference is great enough,
I kind of, like I said, I kind of thought about this a lot. You don't really get a great sense of the scale of the buildings in Doom Eternal.
It's like future world, so buildings can get really tall.
Yeah, and the Icon is like he's about the size of Godzilla in the MonsterVerse compared to the buildings in the MonsterVerse. And I think Doom Eternal takes place in like 2150 something, so literally hundreds of years from not hundreds, 100 years from now. So he's probably at least a little bigger than Godzilla, is my guess.
Yeah. I don't think Godzilla could beat that.
I don't think so either.
I think that Godzilla because Godzilla is what, like 355 feet tall,
something like that. They keep changing it like bit by bit, like a couple feet here and there.
He grew like 40 feet in King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that if he can essentially spawn trap the Icon of Sin,
right?
Like as soon as the Icon of Sin shows up, if Godzilla can close the distance and just fucking maul him to death, sure. I think that the Icon of Sin being a supernatural being who is very lanky and can probably easily keep an arm's length away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or more. I think when it comes to Godzilla, the lankier you are, the better chances you have, because getting close to him means you're going to get bitten, going to get scratched. The only thing Icon would have to worry about, maybe getting tail whipped, but I don't think that's going to do much.
I mean, with him being that lanky, like it would probably knock him back a ways. But again, like I don't think it would do enough damage to like actually make a difference. But
then, in the practical sense of a fight, knocking him away is probably a net benefit for Icon.
Yeah, exactly. So are we going to give this to the Icon?
Of course, Icon is an actual demon god from hell.
Yeah,
who will destroy reality for shits.
All right. Well, sorry, Godzilla, but you're not taking this one. The Icon of Sin.
I guarantee we're going to get bullied on r/Godzilla.
I don't know if anyone on r/Godzilla listens to this podcast, Brian. Maybe I should post it here, though. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But then we'll get bullied because we have a segment bullying r/Godzilla.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's Reddit. Everyone hates themselves on Reddit.
That's fair. All right. Yeah. So the Icon of Sin wins our first matchup. Brian, do you want to do one of your shit posty ones?
Yeah. Okay. So this is Kaiju adjacent.
Okay.
So this is my shit post one.
Before you start, I should mention that I have not heard any of these that he has created for this is all new to me.
I thought about these while at work.
Okay.
The T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
Okay.
The original. I don't remember her name.
It's just Rexy.
Rexy. Okay. Or a equivalent size Jeff Goldblum.
All right.
So they're both the same size.
They are the same size. So are we talking about Jeff Goldblum, the actor, as he is now?
No, as he was then.
Okay, so and we're talking the actor, not the character Ian Malcolm.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna bring up Jeff Goldblum's IMDb, see what else he was in around the time of Jurassic Park. I'm gonna see if that if that gives me any other.
See, I thought about this, and what I thought about is the T-Rex would probably win unless the T-Rex is attracted to people equal size.
It's an animal. My guess is it's not the case.
If the T-Rex can be charmed by Jeff Goldblum, I guarantee the T-Rex would lose. kind of like a succubus situation.
I don't think the T-Rex would be charmed, unfortunately.
How do you know?
Because it's an animal. It's only drive. Her only drive is to.
So is Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, I guess that's fair. But I don't think.
All right.
I don't think Jeff Goldblum's, because like think of it this way. Let's put a modern spin on it. Like, you know, if we were to fight, like, I don't know, like an alligator or something, do you think we would win in a fight with an alligator?
Good. If you're from Florida.
We're not from Florida, though.
That's true. I mean, us from Massachusetts or now Washington, who are not familiar with them, probably not. But if you spend enough time around them,
I guess. But still, like the thing is, also, like, if an alligator gets you in that grip and they start rolling, you're fucked. There's nothing you can do about that.
That is true. But here's something. Also, I realize how horrifying of a matchup this actually is. If Jeff Goldblum dies, that's a whole lot of dead person.
Yes, it is.
But we're kind of in the same territory of Godzilla versus Icon of Sin, because Jeff Goldblum is lanky, and the T-Rex is not.
But the thing is,
I
like,
don't know.
the T-Rex is her hide is probably pretty thick. I don't know if like a punch from Jeff Goldblum is really gonna do much.
What if we give Jeff Goldblum a gun?
Is it? Can I assume
like
it's like a scaled up gun?
No, it's normal size.
It's just normal size gun. Then I don't think it's gonna do much. I don't think it's gonna do much.
What if we give him like a lance?
Lance.
What's a weapon Jeff Goldblum would use?
I don't know if Jeff Goldblum doesn't seem the kind of guy to use a weapon.
No, yeah, you're right.
Let's be honest. Jeff Goldblum is a lover, not a fighter.
All right, hold on. We'll give him a very scaled up road flare. That's lit.
Okay. But then that's not really winning a fight. That's just like getting away. You know?
No, but he fights with it.
Okay.
You can burn people with those things. They're hot.
That's true. But I don't think he would be able to burn her enough to have her like back off from a fight. I'm saying the T-Rex on this one.
All right. I think in my weird scenario, if the T-Rex could be charmed by Jeff Goldblum would win.
All right. I'll accept that, but I don't think that's going to happen.
All right. But also, we don't know much about dinosaurs. Who knows?
That is true.
Maybe they're romantic.
Maybe. We'll never know.
Romance. I don't know. Maybe hey, you know what? I think you're judging too much. You know the T-Rexes don't they're not lovers either. They can be lovers. I don't know. Maybe they kill shit just because they're hungry.
Maybe.
Some people do.
I guess we'll never know. You know, the T-Rex has been dead for a long, long time. And it's been said in the Jurassic Park movies themselves, those aren't real dinosaurs. They are, to quote Alan Grant from Jurassic Park 3, they are theme park monsters, nothing more, nothing less.
True. Real AF, especially when we get to the Jurassic World movies.
Oh God. Did we even get a trailer for Dominion yet? I know there was that IMAX sneak peek, but I don't even think we got a trailer.
No way. There's no way.
Let me look it up. Jurassic World Dominion. Because that first look was in front of the newest Fast and Furious, and that was like a couple months ago.
Yeah, I don't think that they released a trailer. I feel like I would have hate watched it.
Yeah, no, we absolutely would have hate watched it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
All right, whatever. There's no trailer confirmed. All right. Okay. Next up, we have Zilla, and I think I'm gonna, for this one, we should take a look at the Godzilla the series version.
Okay.
Because
I was gonna ask that because I think Zilla from the series version is better.
He's the one who has the most experience in a fight, you know.
Yeah.
So Godzilla from Godzilla the series versus the Zilla Beast from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. So I will. You said you're gonna look up the Zilla Beast? Okay.
Yeah.
I will bring up. Okay. There we go.
Oh, I forgot how cool this thing looks. I mean, it looks cool except for its face.
I don't like how its hands and feet look because they look exactly the same.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, I've got Godzilla's abilities up here. I assume you have the Zilla Beast as well.
I do. It has been a long time since I have seen this episode. But for anyone who doesn't know, or who hasn't watched Star Wars: The Clone Wars, no, this is not a Star Wars podcast. I don't remember what episode this was.
It was. I think it was a two-parter. It was literally. It was the Zilla Beast and the Zilla Beast Strikes Back.
It was a sentient reptilian species endemic to the planet Malastare. It's just this big, lanky monster that they wake up. The entire episode, the two episodes are it's just like a kaiju homage.
Yeah, because Dave Filoni is a Godzilla nerd secretly.
Yeah.
I mean, there are two clones in that episode named Goji, who has a dinosaur / dragon-esque design on his helmet, and I think his name is Rod, and he has like a pterosaur motif on his helmet.
Yes.
And then they use those like cool tanks that look a lot like maser cannons.
Yeah.
Which I keep forgetting were actually first showed up in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, they did for like a split second.
Yeah, at the end when they're shooting down the droid control thing. But
then in the second part of this arc, they bring the Zilla Beast to Coruscant because they're dumb. Because Palpatine wanted it to be cloned, because I guess he just needed more.
No, the cloning thing doesn't come to the very end of the episode. He just wants to study it because it's, and we're gonna talk about this because its armor is like basically impenetrable.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So he wants to like
say this here. This wiki sucks.
What wiki are you on? Are you on like Wikipedia?
StarWars.fandom.com.
I think that's just Wikipedia, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good. That's disappointing, but
that's disappointing. But yeah, so they wanted it for the armor, which is basically impenetrable. I don't even remember how they killed this thing, but they did kill it somehow. I will find it. I'll find its weakness. But yeah, Palpatine ordered to be cloned at the end of the episode. It's weird looking.
It is kind of weird looking.
Cool.
See, I
kind of wreck shit on Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think Godzilla would take this one because for one, actually, because I'm thinking now like, oh, the Zilla Beast is kind of slow, but like when he gets to Coruscant and starts his rampage, he actually moves pretty damn fast.
Yeah, he does. I just read how they managed to kill this thing, and it was through poison.
Yes. But
they never actually broke its armor.
I think it was like a poison that was like exclusive to Malastare. Like you couldn't find it anywhere else except on Malastare.
Well, by that rule, then I guess Zilla can't win.
That's true, but like
this thing is basically all armor. And
I mean, consider this like because like. You know, it was really only like Coruscant security forces taking on the Zilla Beast. Like the Zilla Beast hasn't really fought anything of its of similar size, you know.
I suppose, but we're also talking about lasers from the future.
That is true. So I guess the main question would be. You know.
Also, may I add, they had this thing in captivity for who knows how long, trying to find a weakness, and all they could come up with is poison.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that, getting through that thing's armor is probably going to be rough. So, if Zilla can manage to either get inside of this thing's body and kill it that way, or poison it, maybe. But I don't know. I think that this thing is basically meant to be indestructible for plot purposes.
I think like I think the what it comes down to is like how strong is Godzilla's atomic breath in Godzilla the series, you know?
Yeah, does it say on the
it doesn't say. It says this Godzilla's signature weapon is his green atomic fire breath.
Well, green is a mean color, so.
And the poison is green in the Clone Wars, so you know. Not that means a goddamn thing.
It doesn't. I don't know. This is a rough one. I think maybe Zilla could. If we're talking about win conditions here, this is stretching it, but I guarantee Zilla could probably find a way to trap this thing somewhere.
Yeah, because like I don't remember if you've like watched the entire series. I know we started it one time at your house, then gave up like after 5 episodes or something. But the thing, like one of the big things in Godzilla's series is that he's like super smart and resourceful. Like he knows how to like find a monster's weakness and take it out like pretty easily.
I remember that. I just don't. I think that when it comes down to a fight, like if they're fighting to the death, I don't think Zilla could beat it just out of this thing's pure impenetrability. Like it's so tough I just don't think it's possible.
Yeah, because like,
and also this thing is very, very lanky too, which is
I mean, so is Godzilla though.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, but this thing is like ultra lanky.
Yeah, I don't know, because like I guess it comes down to like, let's assume that the weapons they use on Coruscant are probably weaker than like a lightsaber. Which is that's how we find out that the Zilla Beast is impenetrable, because Anakin tries to stab it with his lightsaber and it bounces off its armor like completely. So yeah. We gotta determine like whether or not like how powerful his atomic breath is in this series, and I don't know. It doesn't. I'm not really seeing anything on Wikizilla about exactly how powerful it is.
I don't think Godzilla's atomic breath has the cutting ability of a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see monsters take hits from his breath. It does through them. It just hurts them and knocks them back.
That's true.
And whatever, and they explode and whatever. But it doesn't like cut them into pieces like a lightsaber does. So I think that in terms of like energy and like cutting power, I think a lightsaber is probably stronger. Maybe less volatile. Hitting something with a lightsaber isn't going to cause it to explode.
Right.
But like these are two different energies we're talking about. I just think it's kind of one of those like unknowable things at this point.
Yeah.
Like, to the people in Coruscant, they didn't have shit that could deal with it, but the people in Malastare, they did. But I mean, who knows? Maybe there's something on Earth that could harm it. I don't know. I was gonna say maybe try throwing it in lava, but I don't think this thing is. I know that like a lightsaber is probably hotter than lava.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think this one might be a draw, honestly, because I don't think the Zilla Beast really has any like offensive capabilities. I think
it just run away.
Yeah, it seems to be mostly built for defense than offense. Like I think in like a tooth and claw fight, there's no contest. Godzilla would take it.
Yeah, I'm not a.
I'm comfortable leaving this at a draw because I don't see how either of them could win really.
Yeah, I mean the Zilla Beast does have a very spiky tail, but I think that Zilla, unlike Godzilla, is very nimble.
Yeah, absolutely.
And can probably do a lot of dodging. So yeah, I think Zilla would at the very least probably find a way to trap this.
Most likely, but yeah, it's tough. This is actually a lot more tough than I thought it'd be.
Yeah,
I'm kind of surprised.
I looked at this doofy thing. I'm just like, Zilla could kill this thing. But now that I'm actually
now we're talking about it, we're like, I don't know.
Like, yeah. Well, we want to move on to one of my last like. I have a serious one that I want.
Yeah, go for it. So all right. So before we move on, we'll call it Zilla Beast versus Godzilla from Godzilla series is a tie.
Yes, is a tie. Okay, so mine. This is kind of a mirror match, actually.
Okay.
It's as close to a mirror match as I think it's gonna get. Of course, because I don't have any other ones after this. But I was kind of thinking about it earlier, and it was kind of like I didn't really know what I was gonna pick, but I wanted to run it by you.
Okay.
So, Shin Godzilla and Godzilla Ultima, because they're very similar, and they are both very apocalyptic. Thoughts? Because like you have Shin Godzilla, who is just this regenerative, indestructible, like nightmare being. And
right.
then you have Godzilla Ultima, who is, for all intents and purposes, a mistake of the universe. Just personified into a giant monster.
Yeah.
Who is only defeated by something going back in time and whatever, and who even knows if he's dead? He might not.
Yeah,
I doubt he is,
literally.
If anything, he was just banished for now. If we're getting a second season of the show, which is
who knows at this point, we don't know.
Probably gonna come back. So yeah, I just curious. I don't know.
All right, I'm trying to find the page for Godzilla Ultima, and for whatever reason I'm having trouble. I don't really know why. It's weird because the current picture of Godzilla on Wikizilla is of Godzilla Ultima. But that's just on Godzilla in general. I would like specifically Ultima. Why can't I find it?
And also, on top of this scenario,
Mm-hmm.
I give, I also want to add that if they were fighting, they would go through their phases at the exact same time.
That definitely puts. So we're saying Shin Godzilla starts off as Form 1, like that's strictly in the water, and Ultima starts off as Aqualatus or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it would have to be Singular Point Godzilla.
Okay.
Like let's be honest. Like do we really think like the first two forms of Shin Godzilla have any chance in a fight?
That's a good point.
I think we should leave it as their final forms. That the fourth form of Shin and Godzilla Ultima. I think
Shin Godzilla does have a lot of ramp up time before he gets to truly ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, there we go. I found it.
Okay.
Okie doke. I really don't know. This I assume we're scaling them a little because like Shin is very, very big, and I think Ultima is like on the shorter side, like close to the 50 meters that the original Godzilla was.
I'm gonna say that they're like roughly around the same height.
Okay.
Around.
All right. I think it.
But, they're both like indestructible.
They are
in conventional terms.
But the only thing is, like, Shin is kind of inactive. Like, he doesn't really do much in terms of moving.
That's true. He doesn't.
And like we've seen that Godzilla Ultima like can handle himself in a fight. We saw him, take on Jet Jaguar in the finale.
Well, I mean, he definitely won that Jet Jaguar fight. Jet Jaguar just suicided him. So
yeah, no.
Get rid of him.
So I don't know. And
I
would.
Here's my thing, because originally I thought Godzilla Ultima would win, but I was also thinking that like Shin Godzilla is basically impervious by the last form we see of it.
Yeah.
And while it is inactive, that's not winning.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just it's done moving. I gotta wait for it to wake back up.
Yeah. You know what I think it is? I'm gonna call it on this alone. I think Ultima would win because, and granted, I'm kind of taking in a bit of a fan theory on this. I think the fan theory I read was when Ultima charges up his atomic breath, we get those rings around his face, right?
Very awesome rings that I love.
So the fan theory I saw on Twitter was I'm gonna mess this up because Singular Point overall is really, really confusing. That was kind of like a callback to Archetype, how it like refracts light like infinitely through time, and it just keeps getting more powerful and more powerful.
Oh damn!
So I think if Ultima would just charge it enough, it would probably just decimate Shin immediately. Because
that does make sense.
Because like in
a fan theory,
it is. But like I feel like a lot of stuff in Singular Point has to be based on fan theories because it's so goddamn confusing already.
That's true. But I mean, I'm not arguing for or against that.
Yeah.
I think that's. I mean, when it comes down to the show and what has been given to us by information, I think that's probably more likely than not.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like,
I feel
don't
like
know.
as is that we see it in the show, like each of their atomic breaths are pretty comparable in terms of power, because the scene when Ultima uses his atomic breath is very, very similar to the one in Shin Godzilla.
Yeah. I think, I mean, Godzilla Ultima's atomic breath is much thicker.
Yeah, he straight up decapitates one of the Mandas, like, clean.
Yeah. I do think that if we're disregarding the refracting light archetype fan theory, which I will take that as possible, a possibility when we come to a final conclusion.
Right.
I think that if we're looking at it without that fact, Shin Godzilla probably has because the beam is smaller, it is a much more concentrated attack. Like, it probably does more damage to a specific point.
Yeah.
A singular point.
Shut the fuck up.
But Godzilla Ultima's beam probably has much more, like, wide area of effect.
And we're also forgetting the fact that, as far as we know, Shin Godzilla can just keep evolving himself to better defend.
I was thinking that, like, even if Godzilla Ultima does like instantly kill Shin Godzilla, Shin Godzilla could probably just reform in some way.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I don't think Shin would last in, like, a tooth and claw fight, but
yeah,
if we're talking,
but
like,
also, we don't really know what the durability of Shin Godzilla is, and we'll never find out because he's never.
As far as we know, the only weak point he has is on his spines. That's the only way that they're able to harm him in that movie, is dropping the bombs into his spines. Like, everywhere else on his skin.
Godzilla Ultima's weak spot is on his back.
Yeah. So as long as they just keep facing each other, there's no way either of them can win.
It's like, oh my god, it's like Evangelion, the 3.0 plus 1 point, where they fucking Gendo and Shinji decide, like, they're just like, we can't fight because we have to talk about stuff.
Well, they're just gonna talk it out.
Oh my god. No, but yeah, I think that when it comes, like, if we take the theory you saw into account, I do think Godzilla Ultima probably, by sheer might alone, would win. But I do think that if we're talking about, if we're taking into account, like, the full range of what we know and, like, what we can surmise and whatnot, I think Shin Godzilla probably wouldn't be dead forever.
Yeah,
I think he'd probably come back.
I think in the short,
Shin Godzilla is a lot like the Thing. He kind of just regenerates.
I think in short term Ultima would win, but in long term it would probably be Shin.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I think that Shin Godzilla has much more, what's the word? Not stamina, but, like, he has much more longevity.
Durability.
Like, durability. He can last for a long time.
Yeah.
Even through death, you most likely come back.
Probably, yeah. So we're gonna give it.
That form is probably worse too.
Yeah. So we're gonna give it to Shin officially. We're calling it.
Back. Hold on. If Godzilla Ultima kills Shin Godzilla, it is very possible that Shin Godzilla would just come back as more of an equivalent to Godzilla Ultima.
Probably, yeah.
So I don't know. This one might be a tie for me too.
All right.
If we are not even defining what a win condition is, I think that it's a tie, because I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna personally give it to Shin, just based on the evolution thing alone, because he could probably just evolve himself rapidly enough to keep coming back. But
yeah,
no,
I might agree with you. I think Shin Godzilla would probably win.
All right, Shin Godzilla it is.
If we're talking on the short term, Godzilla Ultima is like an apocalyptic force.
Yeah.
But Shin Godzilla is very equivalent. They're basically the same.
Yeah. I mean, Ultima does have, like, a very similar thing with the Icon of Sin, where he's, like, warping reality, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but the red dust doesn't really do much.
It doesn't. Well, that we
kinda
know.
just changes.
We still really don't
kinda
know a whole lot about it.
changes- That's true, we don't. But from what we saw in the show, it just kind of changes
Yeah.
the area that he's in, kind of like terraforming.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Yeah, I think Shin for me
Yeah.
over the.
We'll
the
so
long-term
we'll say
fight.
Shin because we'll be honest, we don't have too much information on how Ultima works in universe.
Yeah.
So
But we may revisit this someday.
Yeah.
If we get a second season on Godzilla Ultima. We
Yeah,
get a
we'll
better
find out.
gauge of his power. Because I do think that if your fan theory is correct, if God insta vaporize Shin Godzilla and leave nothing behind, it's possible that the fight's over there.
Yeah, probably.
But I'm with that fan theory, I'm just not willing to give it the benefit of the doubt just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the show is still very unexplained.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so shall we? So we're gonna give it to Shin for now. Shall we move on to our next one?
Yes.
All right, so
Oh, I like this one.
you like this one? Good.
Yeah.
I like it.
How many more of these do we want to do? Because we have been on here for.
We're at an hour and 16,
an
but we
hour.
also did have like a lot of. We had like a half hour of news, so we've only been doing this for
True.
45 minutes so far.
Okay.
So we should do a couple more, and I want to get to some of your other shitposty ones as well.
I think I'm out of them.
Oh, I thought you had multiples.
I might have multiple. Let me. I'll think about it.
All right. Well, in the meantime, we'll do this one. So we're doing Godzilla Earth from the Polygon trilogy versus Jormungandr, the World Serpent from God of War 2018. Again, scaled properly. So yes, Godzilla is the size of a mountain, and in universe, yes, Jormungandr wraps around the entire world, but they are scaled proportionately.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say if they were the same size as usual, Jormungandr would win.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I saw it, because like I've been replaying God of War, and I because you see it on the Lake of Nine, which is kind of hub, quote unquote, for that game. You know, Jormungandr is essentially part of the skybox because he's, you know, pretty much the size of a mountain, and so is Godzilla Earth is the thing. Like, I'm gonna bring up Godzilla Earth if you want to bring up Jormungandr.
Can do. I love my boy, son of Loki, for some reason. Don't know how that works. But,
Spoilers, Brian. People haven't played God of War, maybe.
Fucking Norse mythology's been around for God knows how long. They should know this by now.
That's fair. Spoiler alert for something that's thousands of years old.
Spoiler alert for ancient mythology that has been around since the 17th century Iceland manuscript.
All right.
God.
All right, so Godzilla Earth is 300 meters tall.
There is no metric for how tall and long
That's
Jormungandr is.
understandable.
So we'll just assume what the circumference of the Earth is. So let me look that up.
Just very long is what longer than he needs to be.
Hold on, let me see. Okay, so holy shit. Oh my god! All right, the circumference of the Earth is 24,901 miles.
Okay. Again, we're scaling him down.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
But he wraps. So he's a little bit longer than that because he can eat his tail.
Yeah, that's the point. So he's slightly longer than that.
So and he also coils and shit.
Mhm.
So he's probably closer to like maybe 30,000
Okay.
miles.
But again, we're scaling him down so they can actually fight on like a fairground.
All right. Okay. Man, I don't know. I think, dude, I gotta. I love this snake.
Yeah, no, I love. He's the best boy.
See, here's the thing though. Jormungandr doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, he just kind of vibes.
Until Ragnarok, he doesn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm. But then again, in the final battle in God of War, you see him. You know, Atreus calls him, and you know he helps him. defend against the reanimated Thalmor's corpse. And he moves surprisingly fast for a serpent that big as well.
Yeah. See, but then scale down, that gets rid of his like pure mass advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, though, I think that Jormungandr, because he is a snake, he can regenerate large portions of his body.
Mm-hmm.
I think that just by the nature of Jormungandr being a snake, and snakes are pretty damn durable, I think he might win.
I think he'd probably win too, because
I think Godzilla Earth is too slow. I mean, Godzilla Earth definitely can pack a punch, but Godzilla Earth is like chunky big.
He is, but like he is, for one, very, very durable and very, very powerful. Like, I'm looking at his abilities right now, and there's some stuff in here. Like, I didn't know this is what this was called, but it's the Super Oscillatory Wave, which is the thing he does.
Is that thing? The bass boosted.
Yeah, the bass boosted roar that you think he's going to use the atomic breath, and then he just levels the entire land in front of him.
But would that kill Jormungandr though?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it would just piss them off.
I don't know. It's tough. But the thing is, like, what? Oh, hold on. I'm learning stuff about the anime trilogy that I didn't even know. Godzilla's body tissue is integrated with metallic muscle fibers that support his massive weight in the absence of a skeleton and contribute to his impressive physical durability. The multi-layer foam structure... Yeah, he does not have a skeleton, apparently.
What?
What? This is news to me.
He's just hollow in there?
I guess.
This shit just hang around?
I don't know. The multi-layer foam structure of Godzilla's epidermis grants him superior heat resistance, protecting him from nuclear attack, even in the absence of his asymmetrically permeable shield.
Well, I like to believe that Godzilla Earth, he doesn't have a skeleton, so all of his organs are just hanging around.
They're just there.
They're just there. Maybe that's why he doesn't move a lot, because it's painful.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Here's the thing, like, I feel like even, with what we know about Ultima, I think Earth's atomic breath is the most powerful that we've seen.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because it says right here, the beam is incredibly destructive, allowing Godzilla to kill multiple monsters or completely wipe out cities like Los Angeles in a single blast.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right, but I mean, if you take into account just the sheer size of Godzilla Earth, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Like if you sized up Godzilla Ultima to that size, I could see his breath doing that too.
Mm. Well, the thing is, like, he wasn't that. Remember, it took him 20,000 years to get that big. Like, before, when cities were still a thing, he was like the normal. What is it? Hold on, it probably says somewhere. Yeah, he was just normally 50 meters back then, and his breath was still that powerful.
Damn. Okay, yeah, then, I guess you're right, yeah. So, I mean, if Jormungandr gets hit by that, then
yeah,
he'll probably die.
Probably.
But we are talking about something that's very fast.
Yes.
If we take into account that now Jormungandr is probably going to be even faster than we saw him in God of War.
Mm-hmm. And he is a snake, so he could probably he might be able to coil around Earth and just kind of constrict him. Yeah.
And Godzilla Earth, by not having bones, depending on how tight Jormungandr can squeeze, I think Godzilla Earth might fucking die from that alone.
Yeah. I don't know. This one's kind of tough, too.
I'm going to put my money on Jormungandr. I think that the speed increase is just too great. I just think that Jormungandr, being a snake, he's just a slippery bastard.
Yeah.
And also, I think people like to forget that Jormungandr is a god.
That is true.
Or a son of a god.
That is true. Do we think Godzilla's healing factor will play any role in this? Because we see in the Planet Eater that he can straight up regrow limbs.
That's true. But we don't know what would happen with internal damage.
That is true.
Because Godzilla he's not a lizard in Godzilla. Godzilla Earth is not a lizard. He's plants.
I don't even know if we know confirmed for what the hell Godzilla is in that trilogy.
But assuming Godzilla has internal organs, I don't know if he can fix those. Because if you destroy a brain or a heart or something, you're not coming back from that.
Yeah.
Your healing factor won't be able to heal that. I don't know. I mean, it all comes down to whether Godzilla Earth even has organs.
Yeah.
But I think that the information's just not available to make the call.
Yeah.
So assuming that, for me, personally, no, I'm just kidding. Objectively speaking, it's completely objective. If you disagree, you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. I think that if we say that Godzilla Earth, his physiology is comparable to other versions of the character, I'd say Jormungandr would probably win, because Jormungandr is very fast, and he would be able to constrict. And if Jormungandr is constricting Godzilla Earth so tight that Godzilla Earth can't break free, that's a win.
Yeah, because in the Planet Eater,
for anyone who doesn't know, snakes are like pure muscle.
Yeah. And with a snake that big, that's a lot of muscle.
Yeah, he would definitely be able to crush whatever the fuck they said Godzilla Earth was made out of.
Yeah.
Metal or something. For sure, be able to crush that. Absolutely.
All right. So we're gonna give it to Jormungandr, I think.
Do you also agree on Jormungandr?
I think it's really close, but I think it might go to Jormungandr. Unless, because the thing is, like, I seem to recall Godzilla taking a long time to charge his atomic breath up, or maybe not a long time, but like there's definitely like a buffer, like a cooldown that he has.
He is very slow in doing basically everything.
Yeah, so I feel like Jormungandr, with how fast he is, he could probably dodge it pretty easily.
Yeah.
So I think
with him being the size that he is, I bet he could probably take a hit.
Yeah.
Because being a snake, you don't really have a lot that, like, you don't have limbs that can break, you know? Or you don't have, like, a lot of snakes, like, their important bits are on their or in their head, and immediately following that, like, in their upper body, I guess.
Right.
So they're, like, they can take a lot of damage and not be particularly hurt.
Yeah.
I'd say. So yeah,
I guess
think that it's Jormungandr.
Jormungandr it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
My boy, slithery boy.
All right. So did you remember any of the shitposty ones you had, or do we want to move on?
I did just come up with one.
Okay.
Equivalent size, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson versus King Kong. I'm just going with monster-sized people.
Okay. Well, I mean, Dwayne Johnson was a wrestler, so.
Yeah, but also, I mean, King Kong is basically a wrestler too.
True. Well, which Kong are we going with?
What
the hell are you doing in this dock right now?
I have no idea. I hit a button. I just was fixing it. Okay, let me think about this one. Monsterverse without the X.
Monsterverse without the X. And are we saying Skull Island? Well, no, because we scaled him up, so it doesn't matter. But
I'm gonna say Skull Island anyways because he was a child.
Okay, so he's not as experienced as he was in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yes.
But he is still pretty capable. Well, because the thing is, like, that Skullcrawler had him on the rocks pretty well.
But that thing was bigger than him.
That is true. But not by much.
Yeah, but he also didn't really have any experience fighting something that big up until that point.
That's true.
If The Rock is as big and no bigger, I don't know.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna give it to The Rock just because you know what? Here's mine. If you think Rexy would be charmed by Jeff Goldblum, I think Dwayne Johnson exudes enough charm that he and Kong would just talk it out and be bros.
You think they'd just be bros? Like,
yeah.
They just talk about it, and then like The Rock would like fucking make him like a dozen eggs or something.
Yeah. No, I think that would absolutely happen. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd bro down for sure. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so this is another draw.
This is going way better than I thought it would, Brian. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, no, I like that one. I honestly was actually gonna say The Rock because The Rock can just do so much shit.
Yeah.
Like he knows all these goddamn moves, and he is huge.
He is. He's a large man.
If they were equivalent sized, I guarantee just by muscle mass alone, The Rock would be much larger and much more muscular.
Yeah, I think in a actual fight, The Rock would take it just because he's more knowledgeable in fighting.
You do a rock bottom and it'd be all over. But yeah, I think you're definitely right. They'd bro down.
Yeah,
for sure. They'd be like, "Hey, man, this place is pretty cool, and you're an only child, so I feel bad for you. Here's 4,000 calories per day."
Shall we move on then?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna this next one is Guts from Berserk versus King Ghidorah. What I'm gonna have you look up Guts because I'm reading Berserk and I don't want spoilers because I feel like if I look too hard at some of the things on the Berserk wiki, I'm gonna get spoiled.
I don't know anything about Guts though. It's just
I don't know why I googled King Ghidorah. I don't know
anything, man.
If I get spoiled for Berserk, I'm blaming you. I
just know that Dark Souls and Bloodborne take a lot of inspiration.
All right, so first off, which King Ghidorah are we doing?
You know, I'd be down with. I know this might rustle some jimmies here, but I actually think that the monster version is a pretty good representation.
I agree because I feel like I don't know.
I think he is more of a conventional dragon in that. But I also think that like if you took him from like Invasion of the Astro Monster and you just brought it to now, it would probably look and be very similar.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
Okay. All right. So the reason I'm doing we're doing this is because thanks Berserk Wiki. Very helpful. There's just an ad for a video that's called "Who is Guts?" and it just has the clip of Femto raping Casca from the end of the third movie. Thank you.
That's terrible.
That's what I wanted to see right now. Thank you. Very appreciative. Oh, anyways,
I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of this.
Don't worry about it. Anyways, Guts' sword is called the Dragon Slayer, and that's why we're doing this, because I thought that would be a cool.
Okay. Do you want me to look at what the Dragon Slayer can do?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a big-ass sword, but feel free.
Oh. Oh, I see it. That is a big-ass sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, how does he hold that thing? How? That's not even like... That's not even like... tactically appropriate.
Well, the what happened was like when he was a kid, he was found by a band of mercenaries as a baby, and he because he grew up with mercenaries, he kind of became a mercenary himself, and he ended up having to defend himself against his adoptive father, and because he was still a kid, he was like 6 at the time or something. They didn't have any child-sized swords, so he was using an adult sword, so he just got used to using big-ass swords.
Oh, so it's like I'm gonna get a even bigger sword.
Yeah, I just recently read the part in the manga where he gets the Dragon Slayer, and before that, like the blacksmith tells him, oh, he made the sword to be used against dragons if there were ever a dragon. And a demon comes through the door, and Guts uses the sword the guy gave him, and he's like, wow, this thing broke. It sucks. And then he sees the Dragon Slayer, he's like, Dude, you're holding out on me. This thing rocks.
Give me that thing.
Yeah.
Good lord.
So, all right.
I don't really know what Guts is. Guts like a okay. I don't know anything about Berserk. I should, because it's a lot of the stuff I like takes inspiration.
Yeah.
But is Guts like a supernatural dude, or is he just a normal guy with a big sword?
It's kind of a little of both. Like, he is just kind of a dude, but like he's fought literal demons from hell and come out on top.
Okay. Okay. How big are these demons though? Because
Again, I'm still
size-
a little less than halfway through the manga at this point. So I feel like I haven't seen Guts at his peak performance.
Because size often, I mean, of course, with kaiju, size is a huge determining factor.
Yeah.
And kaiju versus people is also kind of a one-sided fight when taking into account size.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only is it mass to hit you with, it is also mass that you need to damage.
That is true.
So,
But
also,
he has fought very large demons in even in what I've seen so far. Like, go look up Wild, Wyald, and you can see how big he is in his there's a term for it, but like in his demon form, basically.
Let me see this thing. Good lord. What is that?
It's a demon.
Oh my god, that's huge. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. I hate Wild. He makes me feel uncomfortable.
What is that? It's like a gorilla looking thing.
Yeah.
With a human mouth?
Yeah. Again, the demons in Berserk, they're something, all right.
Oh god. All right. I mean, but that's still not Ghidorah size.
It's not true. Well, I feel like
don't know.
how about we scale Monster vs. Ghidorah down to like Showa Ghidorah size
Okay, that's fair.
to make it a little more of a fair fight, because that's still pretty sizable. But I feel like it's definitely more. He has more of a chance that way.
Because the one thing I don't like about Monster vs. Ghidorah is he did have ridiculous proportions.
He did. I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Borderline crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So we got abilities for Guts. So I guess with the Berserker armor, which is something I haven't seen yet in the manga, I'm still early on. It says, donning the Berserker armor, Guts is able to ignore the physiological safety mechanisms of his own body, and is then capable of superhuman feats of strength, speed, and agility, enabling him to decisively overwhelm powerful apostles even in their released forms. I mean, that sword is pretty big. It could probably easily chop one of Ghidorah's heads off, I feel.
Yeah, because he had his necks are
they're pretty skinny.
And also something that I did want to say was everyone knows that Ghidorah this version at least can regenerate his heads.
Mm-hmm. But I think they confirmed
it takes effort.
Well, the thing is, I think it was in the novelization. Either it was in the novelization or Michael Dougherty confirmed it in the commentary. The only reason he could regenerate his heads is because he was drawing on the radiation from the volcano that he was on.
Oh, so that's a game changer.
So he can't just do it willy-nilly. He needs like a decent amount of power.
Damn. All right, that's a game changer then. I think but here's the thing. Like manga and anime, their characters are crazy.
They are.
So, I mean, you could just make the assumption that by virtue of Guts being a manga character, he will beat King Ghidorah.
I mean, that is fair.
Because he's, like, he could probably just fucking do some weird shit like run up fucking Ghidorah's tails and then just run straight up and cut his center head off.
I mean, that is absolutely something I could see Guts doing, just from what I've seen from
So-
Berserk.
So, like, I mean, I guess it just depends on. I guess it depends on Ghidorah at this point. Like, if he's.
Do we think Ghidorah could, like, decently take on something that small?
I think that.
Like, if he's focused on just one specific creature that small.
Well,
and-
Ghidorah was shown to be able to focus on and chase down specific people.
That is true, but they're not, like, superhuman, basically, like Guts is.
Yeah, they're not, but they're still specific people, and one of them was driving a car very fast.
Because, like, Guts has, like, come very close to death numerous times and has bounced back each time.
Yeah, but this is also focusing isn't successfully killing something very fast.
Yeah.
So, I honestly, I know this is going to be lazy, but I just think that Guts being a manga anime character or manga character, I think that he'd win.
Yeah.
I just don't like, because stuff in anime and manga is fast. They're fast. They're overpowered for a
Yes,
reason.
that is very true.
Because a lot of it is very melodramatic.
I mean, literally, in his abilities on the Berserk wiki, one of them is literally listed as Death Defiance. That's literally one of his abilities.
So it is very Doom Guy adjacent.
Yeah.
They're just so fucking crazy, powerful for like seemingly whatever reason you want to come up with, that they take it. So
I probably
yeah,
should
I
have
think,
waited to do. We probably should have waited to do another one of these after I've actually finished Berserk.
yeah,
That way, I would have
agree.
given a better assessment of Guts' abilities. Maybe I honestly might just cut this whole thing out.
no,
No, I won't.
we
ma-
spent so much time talking about this.
We'll revisit it when I've finished Berserk.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sounds good. But yeah, that's mine. I think Berserk, the Guts from Berserk would probably win for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you say we do one more and then we'll do my shitposty one?
I think that sounds good.
Okay. So, anyways, our next matchup is Gekito Jin from the Godzilla Color Special from Dark Horse and Daimajin from Daimajin.
The 3 movies
Yes,
that all came out the same year.
they did. What the fuck?
What?
Okay. I should have brought this up when we did the comics episode. Oh my god.
What?
Okay, so in the comic that Gekito Jin is from, the Godzilla Color Special from Dark Horse, there's this priestess character, right? Her name is Oki Mune, and in the trivia, are you ready for this, Brian?
Yeah.
In the trivia section, it says Oki Mune. Yeah, Oki Mune. God damn it! I used to have trouble with this name all the time. Oki Mune's name is a romanized interpretations of these kanji characters, which translate to big breasts.
It's awful.
Why?
Holy shit.
Why?
Oh my god.
Why is that a thing?
Okay, Dave, you know what you need to do?
Yeah.
When you're editing this podcast, cut that part out and then put it as like
As an intro or
thing
something.
at the thing at the end. Please.
Oh my god. That's so fucking
Oh my
funny.
God. That is real.
Why? Why is that the case?
I guess it's someone just like whoever just came over there like, oh, this is gonna be so funny. No one's gonna know.
Hold on. I gotta hold on. I gotta go to Google Translate with this just to see if this is actually the case.
That is honestly, that's too funny to not be a thing.
Oh my god!
There's no way it can be a coincidence.
It is. Okimune, big breasts. What the fuck? Why did you name a comic character Big Breasts in Japanese? Oh my god. That's so sexist. Oh god. How did I not know that? Oh my god. Okay.
That's so degenerate.
Wow.
Oh.
I gotta process that for a second.
You need to cut that whole thing out and put it at the end.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh.
So
Dude, I'm still laughing about this.
I think we're gonna be laughing at that for a while. Now,
right. I don't know anything about your guy. So
Gekito Jin and Daimajin are basically the same thing. They are basically statues that are possessed by demons, and they come to life and wreck shit. The only thing, I think it would have to be Gekito Jin automatically, because he, because he has a pretty solid resurrection thing. Like as soon as he gets destroyed, he can regenerate from the stone around him and like get bigger each time. What do you got on Daimajin for like abilities and shit?
So let's see here.
Oh, Daimajin's actually on the Godzilla wiki. I didn't know that.
God, there's a lot of history. Daimajin's stone body cannot be hurt by any kind of human weapon. He can put fear into his enemy by filling their head with visions of ghosts and demons. I don't think
that would matter in this fight.
Yeah. He can turn into a fireball.
Yes, he can.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
So what was the first thing you said? He can't be harmed or whatever?
He cannot be harmed by any kind of human weapon.
Okay, human weapon. All right.
But Gekito Jin uses hammer.
Yes, he has big hammer,
which is a human weapon.
It's not really a human weapon. It's a little. I don't think that's a human weapon.
Is it supernatural?
I mean, he's a demon possessed statue. Of course, it's supernatural.
All right, but also Daimajin is God.
That is true. He's a god, and Gekito Jin's a demon.
So I think by virtue of them being basically complete opposites but equal, I think they're kind of destined to fight on forever.
Yeah, because the thing is, the way his Gekito Jin's resurrection thing works is as long as his mission is not yet complete, until his opponent is like dealt with, he will not stop. He can just keep regenerating. Like even in the comic, his mission was just to save the villagers. It wasn't to kill Godzilla. It was just to save the villagers. And as soon as Godzilla left the island, they fell into the ocean, and at that point the villagers were safe because they were still on the island, not in the ocean. So as soon as Godzilla was in the ocean, he kind of went back to sleep, and Godzilla swam away because that was it. So it was basically a draw. Like no one really won, and Gekito Jin was still like, quote unquote, alive. He was back to being just a normal statue, but still.
He was chilling.
He was chilling. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my thing here with Daimajin is that Daimajin has been, at least his physical whatever, his statue has literally been exploded, and he's come back.
That is true.
So I think that Daimajin, by pure virtue of just being a god who can come back in one way or another, I just don't think he can lose. I don't think he can beat Gekito Jin if he can keep coming back. So I just think that they keep fighting forever.
Yeah. I mean,
Daimajin is also essentially the same thing where he just comes back.
Yeah. The only thing I think is that that would quote unquote matter is that Daimajin doesn't seem to be like a fighter. Like he doesn't really. He's pretty slow when it comes to movement.
Yeah.
And
still that stone.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Gekito Jin puts up a pretty solid fight against Godzilla in the comic. But yeah, I think just based on like their abilities, like they would just be at a standstill for all time. Like it would be a never-ending battle.
Yeah, but you know what? Because we've had so many ties, I'm gonna say Gekito Jin would win.
You think so?
I know that Daimajin will come back.
Yeah.
But Gekito Jin seems to be much more offensive.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
guarantee he would probably succeed in destroying Daimajin, even though Daimajin would return.
Yeah.
In one form or another.
Because
who knows? Maybe because Gekito Jin is a demon, death by him would actually matter.
That's true. That might actually do something. That's a pretty solid observation.
Yeah, that's my answer. I no more ties today.
Okay.
We've had what, two ties?
I think.
Both of them were mine, I think. No.
Well,
No,
we were also the ties were the shitposty ones too.
Yeah, that's true.
The only real tie we had was Zilla, and it was Godzilla and the Zilla Beast.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, for me, probably Gekito Jin. But in the long term,
okay. I'm
probably a tie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because
What do you think?
It doesn't. I mean, we don't really know whether or not Gekito Jin can absorb the stone around him without having died. So I mean, it's possible. Like maybe Gekito Jin can shatter Daimajin and then absorb the stone that he was part of. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here at this point.
Yeah, I mean the thing with this topic is that it's all like you have to draw your own conclusions because there's so little information.
There's really given. No. Yeah, so there's really no easy answer.
It's a very specific fight with monsters who have very just kind of loose rules.
Yeah.
That's why any fight with like Godzilla is kind of just like a spitballing thing. You just don't know because Godzilla's power is so undefined.
Right.
Same thing with like, any kinds of supernatural beings, and both of these guys are supernatural. So
yeah. So we're gonna give it to Gekito Jin officially.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I know we said we were gonna do Cyber Godzilla versus Modified Gigan, but we're approaching the 2-hour mark, so I think we should just move on to my shitposty one and save that one for our follow up in the future.
Well, you're gonna be cutting out a good 20 minutes of this.
That's true, but I also want to go home. It's like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it is late. Let's do that. Sorry for being on the wrong coast.
It's okay. All right, so my shitposty one has some history, but I don't remember the history because whatever. I
remember you texted it to me one day.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
So my shitposty one is Godzilla. We're gonna figure out which one in a second. Versus a literal train that is just packed to the brim, like literally bursting at the seams with rats.
My answer has not changed.
I told one of my friends on Discord about this, and he was like, "That's like the 1 trillion lines versus the sun. That's fucking great."
Oh, that's funny. But it's not the sun, because if you attack the sun, you're gonna die anyway.
But it's 1 trillion lines, Brian.
That's true.
That's a lot of lions.
The sun is big.
But that's a lot of lions, Brian.
Okay.
Anyways,
what
Godzilla? So that's the thing, because like I think it would depend on which Godzilla for it to win.
Man,
like
for all of them, for me, it doesn't matter.
Well, I think for basically any of them other than Godzilla Earth, it would be the rats. Like Godzilla Earth, I think is just too big for it to really matter.
Okay, but what's the size of the train?
I envisioned it as like just a normal orange line train.
All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. What if we put them on a bullet train though?
I don't know how big bullet trains are.
it doesn't matter how big it is. It matters how fast it is.
Oh no! So I said I should explain this better. The train itself doesn't matter. It's just it's mostly just like the rats that can fit in that train are what's fighting Godzilla, not the train itself.
Okay.
I mean, we can do the train as well.
I mean, I don't think
I don't think it would make much of a difference.
I mean, I think with Godzilla Earth, if you spread the rats out enough, I mean, a lot of them are going to make it to him.
It's not that they would make it to him. It's just that I don't think it would make, like, they wouldn't be able to do any damage. Because, like, we just learned a couple minutes ago that, like, Godzilla Earth's skin is near impenetrable because he has some fucking weird metal fibers in his skin.
But how many orifices does he have?
I assume just the two, three, his nostrils and his mouth.
I think go into his nose.
I guess.
Maybe going behind his eyes, which is disgusting to think about.
But I feel like if
I don't know, you're probably right. I think it's the bigger Godzilla gets.
Yeah, I absolutely like something like 54 Godzilla. No fucking chance. No chance.
Yeah, he would get eaten.
Just decimated.
Yeah, I do think that the rats would win most of the time.
Yeah, okay. So, how about Final Wars Godzilla? Because he's kind of like the most powerful of any Godzilla aside from the rats. You think?
Yeah.
But what if Godzilla did like?
I think the rats would win.
But what if Godzilla pulled like some karate shit like he does in that movie?
No, the rats would win.
Rats would win. Okay.
The rats would win, dude. A train full of rats filled to the brim. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
if we're talking about like New York, like train.
Yeah. Those kinds of rats.
Those things are huge. They're disgusting. They carry diseases, and they want to eat everything.
I don't think the diseases would do much against Godzilla, but
no, but the diseases arguably makes them crazier.
That is true. Yeah, I think Godzilla Earth is the only one that would be able to put up a fight, and even like fight is pushing it.
He would probably be pissed off though.
Yeah.
You barely see these dumbass rats coming towards him. So like scraggly and disgusting. You'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" You start crawling on him. He's like, "Oh my god!" But yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. So in every instance but one, it's the rats.
Yeah, the rats would win. Come at me, r/Godzilla.
Yeah.
Come at me.
I wonder if I should post just that on
should.
r/Godzilla and see what people think. Like, hey, who would win?
We can put it on the r/Godzilla blog for next time.
Yeah. Instead of like bullying r/Godzilla, it'll be a reaction podcast, Brian.
Yeah. Well, then you can actually post the podcast on there and hopefully get listens.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. We figured out our marketing strategy. We're doing the old Republican Party thing, which is marketing through outrage.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, that about wraps up our main topic for today.
Yeah. Great.
That was actually a lot.
Do this again.
Yeah. No, this was a lot more fun than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah. I think that next time we do this, hopefully we get a little bit more of a following, maybe, and we can put out a prompt maybe on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah, like get suggestions from people.
Get a suggestion because I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think so.
Yeah. Last segment.
Wink Take Horn. What new cool kaiju thing have you been checking out recently, Brian?
And
if I swear to God, if you say I'm going to check something out, I'm gonna fly to Washington and hit you.
What are you saying? What are you referring to, Dave?
You know exactly what I'm referring to, Brian.
You know about Ultraman?
Maybe. Or Gamera.
Okay.
Or anything.
Well, I have been very busy and not able to watch many movies. But Destiny 2 is having its Halloween event right now. And there are the armor sets that all the way back on the beginning of the first episode of this podcast, I talked about how Bungie put out a poll on whether people wanted classic monsters or dinosaurs
Mhm.
for the armor sets for the event. The dinosaurs are in, and the armor sets look so fucking cool.
Very nice.
They are dinosaurs. One's a T-Rex, Triceratops, and the Raptor. It's great. So, I mean, dinosaurs are kaiju adjacent. Really cool. If you like looter shooters and you like dinosaurs, try out the event. Definitely not sponsored by Bungie, but I would love to be.
It could be in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
But,
so that's what I'm going to be checking out for sure.
all right. Mine is also.
I don't really have much of an ability to watch movies at the moment because I am without a TV. I have a monitor that does not have speakers, so kind of not working with a whole lot right here. But I am very much planning on watching a lot of stuff once I move into my house.
Right, if you say so.
I promise, audience.
Hold him
Not
to
you,
it,
Dave,
guys.
'cause you'll hold me to it, but
Yeah, I will,
audience-
and I'll bother you.
audience doesn't care.
They don't. Anyways,
Audience doesn't care at all.
mine is also Kaiju adjacent. I mentioned it earlier already, but I've been replaying God of War 2018 because Ragnarok's coming out next year, and I wanted to replay it because
Yeah, there's some big boys in there.
Yeah, it is. It's all about giants and stuff. We got Jormungandr, and there's dragons in there. Those are kaiju,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, and also you got the the big stone, like the
The ancients.
the ancients. Those,
Yeah.
Those guys are big.
They're pretty
weird.
big. They're not like big. They're not like dragon big. Those dragons are big, but
They're still chunky though.
Yeah.
They're bigger than Kratos, and Kratos is huge.
Kratos is a large man.
Yeah.
Quick, Kratos versus I don't know.
Kratos. Doesn't matter.
Kratos versus Kratos.
Kratos is a god,
That's true.
and whoever the fuck he goes up against, he will just out angry them.
That is true. I mean, he did kill Kronos,
Yeah.
so that's
I think the purpose of Kratos is that nothing kills Kratos except Kratos.
Kratos literally caused an apocalypse at the end of God
Actually,
of War 3.
You know what? That's not even fair because Kratos committed suicide at the end of God of War 3 and didn't even die.
That's true. He did. That's very, very true.
He stabbed himself with the sword of goddamn Zeus, and he was A-okay.
Okay, yeah, it's Kratos.
And then he had the stamina to go to the world of Norse mythology and bang a giant woman and make a child.
Yeah. All right, so I guess that's Kratos. That was an easy one, I guess.
There you go.
As I was saying, holy shit. It's actually even better than I remember it being because, like, I'm actually using all of the game's systems this time around. And I'm like, wow, this combat is satisfying.
You're being a gamer.
I'm being a gamer. And to update you, Brian, because I talked to you about this earlier, one more Valkyrie to go.
Oh, man.
Yep,
The last one?
Yeah, I did Muspelheim earlier today. Now I just have Niflheim to go through, and then it'll be Sigrun.
Sigrun is gonna be, just message me updates about it because I want to hear your thought process while going through it because I think it's gonna be hilarious.
All right, fair enough. I will certainly keep you.
That boss fight is still number one on most attempts on any one thing.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me about that when the game came out.
Yeah. For the audience who doesn't know, I am a
gamer,
Souls player. I've played every single. I've played Demon Souls, played all the Dark Soulses, played Bloodborne, Sekiro, whatever. None of them. I have never died more to a boss than Sigrun in God of War. Never.
Can't wait.
And that's every fucking boss from all of those FromSoft games. I know that God of War is not a FromSoft game. It's a Santa Monica Studios game. But wow, the fact that they outdid difficulty in terms of a boss fight for the people who popularized like hard boss fights, good for them. I don't know how they're going to match that in Ragnarok.
Yeah, I don't know either. But yeah, hey, if you haven't played God of War 2018, go do it because it's phenomenal.
Yeah, It's
but
very good.
everyone who voted in that IGN poll are stupid. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, God of War is apparently the greatest video game of all time. I don't.
Definitely,
no.
definitely not. But it's up there for sure. But it's not the best game.
I'm sure like everyone who voted in that poll was like born after the year 2000. So.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yes.
But it's still a good game. But that's about it. Unless you want to add anything else.
I am all done.
You're all done?
I have nothing to add, nothing to say to you.
Wow.
Or the audience.
It's kind of rude. Thought we were pals, Brian.
No.
You keep saying every week.
The audience knows by now that we're not actually friends.
You keep saying every week, despite what you all think, Dave and I are friends outside of this. You say that like every time.
I've been lying this whole time.
Oh no, Brian, how could you?
You guys don't actually know this, but I'm a bit of a bastard.
It's true. I can confirm that.
Okay, well, let's end it here.
Let's end it here.
You gotta go home, and I have to eat dinner.
That's true. I also have to eat dinner. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Mm.
But I had kind of a big lunch, so I wasn't that hungry for dinner anyways. This has been Talking Toku. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and maybe Instagram soon if Brian gets off his lazy ass and does it.
I'm gonna do it.
Maybe I'll actually start posting on Facebook and Twitter now because I haven't really done it like at all. So yeah, I know. But you know, this is 2 episodes back. We're gonna have our comeback now. So look forward.
We're gonna have one at the end of this month.
Yeah, we're gonna do something spooky. We're not really sure what it is yet, but we're gonna try our best.
Suggestions? Hit us up.
Yeah, please. We have some ideas, but I don't have much faith in those ideas.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
Figure it out.
We'll figure something out. Maybe we can just do. We can. You know what? I got it, Brian. I know what we're doing for our Halloween special.
What?
We're doing a review of just the Baron Spider episode of Ultra Q.
Oh my god! No.
For an hour.
No.
Okay, we'll workshop it a bit.
We could do 8-Legged Freaks.
Oh my god, maybe we'll see.
Scarlett Johansson's first feature film movie.
Is that really? Is that the case? Is that true? Wow.
She's in the same club as Jennifer Aniston.
Huh. On a similar note, I was Lance Reddick, who shows up in he's the concierge from John Wick. You know how he shows up for like 2 seconds in Godzilla vs. Kong?
Yeah.
That is not the first time he's been in a kaiju movie, I learned.
Oh?
Yeah, he was
else?
He was in Godzilla 1998 as uncredited soldier on bridge.
What?
He was an extra in Godzilla 98 apparently.
What a humble man.
I know.
Didn't even want like a big role. Just like, just put me on the bridge.
It was definitely when he was first starting out as an actor, I guarantee.
Well, whatever.
But all right, let's stop.
Let's
wrap it up. Once again, this has been Talking Toku. Like I said, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Talking Toku. I'm David.
I'm Brian.
You didn't sound too sure of yourself there.
I am indeed Brian.
Okay. I mean, you do have your catchphrase, you know.
My name Brian.
Yeah. That's your whole catchphrase.
It is. I say it every morning when I'm
Yeah, exactly. All right, everyone. We'll talk to you next time, whenever that will be.
End of this month.
Goodbye.
Bye.